This is April.
And this is Tiffany. And you are now listening to the Tea of Life podcast.
I thought it might be fun to go through our websites, our own websites, not the Tea of Life, but our own, like you have yours, which is?
teatimewithtiffany.com.
And mine is aprilabraham.com, real easy. And I have a post from October the 14th, 2016. And I thought it would be fun to read. And it could maybe spark some conversation.
Okay. What is it?
It's titled Better Than Me. I don't really remember. So this is going to be like me reading a new blog because I don't remember things.
Okay.
It starts off like this. Pity party of one. Today is my designated writing day. It's on my calendar, the one I have been trying to use to help me organize my life and enjoy it even. Going into the day, I had a good feeling about it. Aside from the start of the day, that wasn't part of the normal routine. Taking the kids to Chick-fil-A because Daddy had to go into work early, so he couldn't take them to All Pro Dads this morning at school. Which I could have gone to. Moms are not discouraged from going. It's just that the kids opted for going to Chick-fil-A for chicken minis versus All Pro Dads for biscuits. So All Pro Dads is at their school. Some schools do it around, even the public schools. This one was at our Christian school.
Okay.
Our private school. Anyhow, so that's what All Pro Dads is. When I got back home, I had this feeling of dread. So I just prayed and started with research, which I was really getting into. Because remember, this is my writing day. So I guess, yes, I'm writing here. Okay, so which I was really getting into. Until I thought about how to apply it to the blog post I was supposed to be writing. And then the pity party began. After reading other blogs already in existence about the subject I was to write on, I felt, why bother? Everyone is already doing this better than me. Okay, that's where the title comes, better than me. And then I start unpacking my feelings more. I wrote what I needed to know before I could go to the next step of writing. Actually, I struggle with guilt and even having a writing day. I don't know if you have that too. I feel guilty if I just want to take a day and write. Silliness. Getting back to me and my article, or my blog, or my life article, I say, hold on, why should I get to have a writing day when others don't? Am I a published author using this as income? Well, no, that would be awesome. I was like, that period would be period, awesome. Period. And then this is again me with this is my pity party talk. This is how I talk. And are there choices, if you could picture it like this, and are there choices of people better than me for this writing task? Definitely, most likely, yes. That's what my other answer would be. I just thought of this Sunday school lesson from last week on Moses. God called him to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, and Moses was like, I think there are many others better than me for this task, Lord. And God said, of course there are, but I choose you. Well, I don't think God said that first part, but he definitely chose Moses, not because of Moses' ability, but because of God's character. See, I like to write. It does bring me joy, but I was not having joy in belittling myself and thinking about the many others more qualified, more experienced, and, quote, air quotes, better than me. God chose some to be pastors, some to be teachers, etc. Ephesians 4:11 tells us. God put inside of me a desire to write. It doesn't matter that it is not to the masses. Who knows the scope of people to be influenced? But that is not the point he is making to me. I don't believe. I think it's about me finding joy in him, pursuing something I like. And even in times when there is resistance, I can use that time to press into him for his guidance. He will use it to mold me and shape me into the person he designed me to be. There's a difference in feeling resistance in something because it's an area God hasn't called, and then there's a resistance, or called us to, and then there's a feeling of resistance based on your own fears of pursuing a dream. And it's in that moment where you stop and meet God and ask him to show you how to move forward because he is making you into something better than the present you. And I like that.
I do too.
Go me. No,
I think that totally fits too with our passion podcast. Because a lot of times we do get caught up in the whole, you have a passion to write. And we might think of, what is our passion? Well, I have a passion to go skydiving or go kayaking or whatever. But you're not going to look at those and say, well, somebody else is already doing that, so I might as well not.
Somebody else skydived today.
Right.
That's a good point.
But there are those passions that we have, like writing, or speaking, doing other things that somebody is already doing. And we might think, what do I have to contribute? Why should I feel passionate about this when somebody else is already doing it? I can't do it better. But that's all relative, because what I may think is better is not something that you may think is better. Right. Or person C may not think that either one of them are better.
Right.
Right? So when we think there's somebody better, it's all relative. So even if we did get better, there's always better to be gotten.
Like you say, it's all relative. You are a piece of a puzzle in this great world of community. It's like we aren't all hands, we aren't all feet, we aren't all mouths. We're all play a part of the body.
Right.
And so me contributing something might spark somebody else, and they could go on and create something really great.
Right.
And I'll be like, oh, look, I sparked an interest in them. I don't need that.
And you may never even know that you sparked that interest.
That is true.
And that's
true.
Okay,
and I don't need to.
Too.
I don't.
Right, but you're doing something that you're passionate about. And that's what we want to encourage, that even if you feel like somebody else is already doing it, but that's your passion, don't let that stop you from doing your passion.
Right. Don't let that stop you.
Right. If you want to write, get out there and write. Whatever that looks like to you. If you want to do more life articles, if you want to write a book, if you want to write recipes, whatever it is, get out there and write. Do it. Whatever it is that you want to do, get out there and do it. And then when you do those little things every day, those little things start to add up into great big things. And you never know where it's going to lead you.
Right. It's like that pebble in a pond. Or you throw something in the pond, the ripple effect. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Because that made me think about even what makes me write. And it doesn't have to be on social media. It doesn't have to be. It can be just the journal. It's getting something out of my head. Yeah. And I feel better. It's kind of like you kind of unload it. It just makes me feel like, okay, I did something.
So, side note, I just logged onto your website, AprilAbraham.com. And when I see your picture here and I see, hi, I'm April, I glanced at that and I thought it said, hi, I'm a girl.
Oh, yeah. This is also true.
So what was the name of the article that you were just reading?
Better Than Me. It's from October 14th, 2016. And this is probably where we were starting to feel something different, because we started the podcast that March. So, it was like something was stirring.
So along those same lines, we have a question here. When do you know that it's the right time to cultivate your passions?
When Venus and Mars align. No, I just can't. No, I think when you have not just space in your calendar, you always make space for the things that you like to do.
I honestly think that it could be at the moment that you discover your passion.
Yeah.
So at the moment that you discover something that you're passionate about, why not start cultivating it at that moment?
Right.
Because if you wait until the right time is never going to come. They always say if you wait until you're ready to have a baby, you're never going to have a baby.
Right.
Right?
You're never ready. Yeah.
So whenever you start to feel that passion kind of creeping up inside of you, whenever you start to feel that burning or that urge, or you can't think of anything else that you want to do, that is just a thing that you just think about all the time, then maybe it is the right time to where you need to get out there and you need to start cultivating that passion. Because when you start cultivating, then it's going to start growing.
That's
just
true.
like a garden.
Right, exactly. That's what I was thinking, like a plant. You have to really till the soil. You have to fertilize. You have to, just put some dirt, put some water, and then it starts to grow. And it takes a while. And then when it starts to grow, you're like, yes, you keep growing, get excited, you do more and you do more and you do more. And then when do you stop that passion? When you notice that that plant's starting to die, maybe. Or you can either water it some more, and if it's still not coming back to life, maybe it's time to do something else.
Maybe when it starts to take more energy.
Ah, yes.
Then you're willing to give it.
That's a good point. Yes. When it's
draining
energy.
energy from you, when it's draining joy from your life and it's no longer fulfilling joy. Because as you know, we've talked about before that we're not created just to have one passion. We can have different passions throughout our entire life. We can also have different passions at one time. But when something starts to steal your joy, starts to drain your life, then at that point it's time to say goodbye and to cultivate another passion. Farmers, they'll plant a crop for a year, but then the next year they'll plant a different crop because
you gotta let the soil rest.
The soil has to rest, but whatever nutrients that one crop starts to drain from the soil, if they keep planting that same crop over and over again, those nutrients are going to be gone, and that crop eventually is no longer going to grow.
That's a good point.
So they have to take a different crop and put it in that spot so that they can build those nutrients back into the soil.
Right.
A different crop that takes different nutrients. Crop rotation.
Yes, crop rotation. Youth ministry, I thought I would live, breathe, die in youth ministry. That was a passion. Mm-hmm. But do you see me doing that right now? No, because it's not my passion.
Right.
It's not my season. I gave it everything I had in the season that it was. Mm-hmm. I loved that season. And I look back on that and go, that was a great experience that I had. I'm glad I did that. I'm glad that I'm not there at the moment, but it's still, right. Yeah, so it prepared me for today. Everything I think you do prepares you for something.
Right. So if you had not done that passion, you would not be prepared for the passion that you're living out now.
Right.
So our passions, they grow, they cultivate, we cultivate them, they grow, and they grow into something bigger than we thought that they ever could, based on the little stepping stones that we take along the way.
And that made me think of this. I was thinking about roller coasters earlier, and I was thinking about like when things are going well, and we've done some things in our podcast we're excited about, and we've had things come our way, and we're like, what is happening? And then all of a sudden it's like you're on that roller coaster, and it's like, whee! It's in control, but it's out of control in a good way at the same time. You don't know what's happening. Like, I like those kind of roller coasters where you can see the highs and lows. You can see them coming. And now it's
we have a lot of those. We have a few of those coming for us soon that our listeners are going to find out about. So
yes.
Very cool. Well, thank you, April, for sharing that. That is awesome. And April has quite a few articles on her website, aprilibraham.com. So if you would like to go there and read some more of her articles, feel free to comment. Feel free to leave any kind of message letting us know what you think about these articles. So thank you guys for listening. We hope that you enjoyed our podcast today. If you like Tea of Life podcast and you've got two friends who want to create the life that they love to live, tell them about us. Find us on your favorite social media platform like Facebook or Instagram. Also, right now before you forget, go to Apple Podcast or Google Podcast and search for Tea of Life podcast. Hit the subscribe button and never miss an episode. Thank you for listening to Tea of Life podcast. We'll see you next Monday.